So what is going on, guys? Daniel Prince 93 here with another video. And today we're gonna go over my top 10 favorite iPadOS features of 2019. So if you guys all know, it's been about 3 months now since iPadOS was released back in September. And I've been using it since the beta came out in the summer. And overall, if you guys want to skip this video, I love iPadOS. If you're for some reason still on iOS 12 with an iPad, no matter the generation, like if your hardware supports iPadOS, I say hop on it now. So I'm just gonna dive right in and kind of share with you guys my top 10 favorite features of iPadOS and kind of run down. Some of these are gonna be a little bit redundant. You've definitely heard some of these, but some of them you might be happy, or some of them might be new to you and you might not know that these features even exist. So the first one has to be right in front of you guys. So I'll overlay the screen right now, but it has to do with the new home screen, right? So now with the new home screen, you have the widget stock, right? So you have the option of leaving this up no matter what, or you can even take it away. So if you scroll all the way down and go to edit, you can turn it off, press done, and then it disappears. And then you're back to the normal home screen. So Apple did allow to add an extra row of apps, which is very, very nice because obviously the screen is huge compared to an iPhone. So having so much space in between applications is not really necessary. Now you can go into the settings menu and go into home screen dock and have the icons be bigger again. But I like to have them small, and I also like to keep this turned on to make sure that my home screen keeps the widget screen. And here on the widgets, I have just the weather, battery, YouTube count, or number of subscribers, screen time, trending on Google Assistant, and my calculator, because Apple refuses to put a native calculator app on the iPad. So number 2 has to be dark mode. And you kind of forget that we have dark mode on because I've had it on since the summer, since beta 1 came out of iPadOS. That's the first thing that I had on. So I mean, you can clearly see the difference. If you go into settings, it's all white. If you turn on dark mode, it's just a little easier on the eyes, guys. And I really, really like it in that sense because it just makes it a little bit easier for me to look at, especially at nighttime. And you can still keep it very bright. And the best part about it is in the Notes app. I love the contrast between the black notes and the white, the white ink, for lack of a better term. And now with iPadOS in Safari, unfortunately Chrome hasn't updated itself yet to take advantage of iPadOS 13, so you don't get a full desktop experience with Chrome. It's decent, right? But with Safari, what's amazing is that now I have I have a desktop class experience with Safari, which allows me to upload content straight into the YouTube app. I can use Google Drive within Safari with a lot less, it's still not perfect, but it's a lot less glitchy than it was back in the past. Before, you could only access your Google Drive, and if you wanted to edit something or a document, you would have to go into the Google Drive application. But I do love how you now get, not only do you get the desktop class experience, but you also get a download manager. So whenever you download something, it goes up here into the right, and you have a classic download manager that you would get on any other desktop. And that's a perfect segue into the Files app. So when you do download something, it goes into the On My iPad section of your Files app, which I love. I love the Files app. It allows me to access my Google Drive from here, my OneDrive for work, which I collaborate with all my coworkers. You got your iCloud, which I never ever use, and then obviously whatever's on my iPad. And the beauty about the Files app is now you can use external hard drives. So if I have a USB thumb drive or a USB-C hard drive, you can now use dongles like this one, which I'll link below. I love this one, to start to kind of download stuff onto your iPad, or even view, let's say you have videos or something on a thumb drive or videos on a hard drive, you can now view them directly from the Files app. Another cool one is the Find My app. So Apple rebranded this from Find My iPhone just to the Find My app. So they combined Find My iPhone and the Friends app that Apple created to let you know, where your devices are at all times, right? So I got iPad, iPhone, Apple Watch, AirPods, you name it, right? Everything but a freaking MacBook. You guys can see all the icons are there. But not only can you do that, but then you can look at all your friends and everybody that's in your contact that you share locations with. So this is one way to actually view who's around. And this actually came in handy a little while ago when I lost somebody and I was able to find them through the Find My Friends app, or the Find My app. Okay, so this was a very niche trick that Apple added that not many people noticed, but it's been an absolute game changer. So if you go into the Mail app, right, I used to have to go individually to delete, or you'd have to press edit and click on every single one to delete those emails. But now you can either, with 2 fingers, you can press down and start dragging and pick all of them at the same time to delete them all at once. Because again, we all get so much spam email, right? So you can just delete them just like that. Or you can even, with the mouse, you just press edit and just start dragging down, guys. So that's the beauty of it. I freaking love that little tweak into the Mail app. And I know a lot of people have had issues with the Mail app, but lo and behold, it has one amazing feature. Number 7 has to be this guy, mouse support. So yes, obviously the mouse support is a little bit different and not super optimized for the iPad quite yet, because it's under an accessibility feature. So it's mainly there for people that can't interact with the iPad how it's, quote unquote supposed to be interacted with, and the mouse is there as an aid. But I would say I would use it about 75% of the time that I'm using my iPad, especially if I'm sitting and I know I'm gonna be sitting for a while. I just run with the mouse. It's a little easier to do some tasks, and the scrolling works. The only annoying thing about the scrolling is that it's in the opposite direction and you can't change it. But there is some customization when it comes to the mouse. So if you go into accessibility, into touch, you have to turn it on. But if you go into there, you go into devices, MX Anywhere 2S, and you can now customize what each one does. So my side rockers put my volume up and down. This one right here takes me to the home screen, which also acts as a multitasking button. So if you double tap that, it goes to the multitasking, single tap, and then my right trigger opens up this little menu right here, which is really, really nice. So having mouse support is awesome, and hopefully it gets a little bit better as time goes on, but I don't think Apple will ever go to the classic pointer. They're just gonna stick with something like this for the time being. Another big one that people have complained about for years and years and years is having 2 instances of the same application open at the same time. So it doesn't work for every single application, and sometimes it's a little glitchy. You gotta know what you're doing at the exact right time. But if you hold down a tab, you can kind of open it here, let it go, and now you have 2 Safari tabs open at the same time, and it's 2 full desktop experiences running side by side. So mostly just the native apps allow this right now. Like, unfortunately, you can't have 2 versions of Excel open at the same time unless you go through the online portal of Excel. But only for right now, not many third-party applications allow this. Some do, some don't. But you just gotta play around with it and see what it is. And then the last 2 kind of go together. It has to do with this guy right here. So the pencil got some new functionality, right? So the double tap to change from eraser to actual marker isn't new, because that came with the new Apple Pencil. But for instance, this little screenshot feature, that's new. And this new toolbar menu this new toolkit menu right here is awesome, and it's brand new. So it lets you do a bunch of things like auto minimize, you press this little, you can magnify, add a signature, add text, shapes, whatever the case may be. You, again, double tap to get the eraser, double tap to get the marker. So it just has a little bit more functionality, and I really, really like that about the pencil. So those are my top 10 favorite features of iPadOS in 2019. Comment below what you guys want to see in iPadOS 14.0, whenever that comes out. I mean, the beta will probably come out next year in the summer. Or maybe even comment below if there's a few more things that you guys want in a 13.3.x variant, right? Or a 13.4 variant for iPadOS. But I'm loving iPadOS. It's completely kind of changed the way I do work, like mobily. I've been using my iPad Pro since it came out. No, I've been using my iPad Pro for about 5 months now, and it is my favorite device of all time. So don't forget to leave your comments below, guys. Some thoughts about iPadOS 14.0, what you guys want to see. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, peace.